Peggy Rometo, and this is the Weekly Wake Up. Okay, so let's all take a deep breath. Just let go of your day and really fall into that space inside of you that is just quiet and calm and all-knowing. You know, we all have the ability to receive information, to be able to guide ourselves under any conditions, right? We really do. And some of you may have even had the experience when you're in a moment of difficulty, like this clarity just coming in and really telling you exactly what you need to know in that moment. And we can access that space. It doesn't have to be just in times of great duress or in times of great meditation, right? Very silence, or the middle of the night. You can really learn to access it at any time, anywhere, under any conditions. And I know, because I've been doing it for 20 years and I teach people how to do it all the time. And so that's what this is about. This is my way of just giving back and supporting people and being able to slow down and tap into that resource inside of you, because we all have it. And just same way we all have a singing voice, we all have this capacity to be quiet and to know the answer, know the truth, know what actions to take. So the reason I look into the week is just to give us something to push back against, to ask a question that is just to open up the energy. And by opening up the energy, a question opens the energy, right? So when you ask a question, it opens the energy. It's like a Google search. You ask a specific question, you get a specific answer. You put in one word into Google and you get a million answers, right? So the more specific your question, the more specific the results. Okay. So, wow, I can feel all that energy coming in. Can you guys feel that? It's like almost like it's an anticipation, but there's tension up around the throat and the chest. So for those of you that are excited, just breathe through it, let go. And we're going to do a cleansing breath. And for those of you that I just seem so wackadoo and so far out there, if you just slow down and get underneath those feelings, those emotions, and really start to kind of listen and play with the fact that you can get back into your feelings and you can start to sense something, that it's not an emotional reaction, right? You also have that, right? Because you may be wired differently. You may be wired that you just get it, you just know it. It's like a businessman's sort of gut instinct, boom, right? And so the more that you can listen to that way in which truth speaks to you, it expands it and makes room for all the other senses, okay? So however you get information, be comfortable with it, but acknowledge it. Because by acknowledging it as being truthful and as not being your intellect, you can then access more information, because you don't have to be thinking. It can just be downloaded. It just can be given to you, okay? So let's go in and take those 3 long breaths. Remember, the first breath is just what I call a cleansing breath. It's just letting go. Something we all do naturally anyway. And then we're going to bring our focus into the heart, and we're going to drop our intention and our mind, our imagination. We're going to open it up to a white tunnel of light going all the way down to the center of the earth. We're going to stop, and then we're going to imagine it being a beautiful space, someplace we feel safe and grounded and to us. And then we bring in that white light, inhaling it all the way back up to the whole top of the head. Hold it for a count of 3, and then exhaling that white light back down the body again. Each time letting go of any conversation or self-doubt or curiosity or fear. And we do that 3 times. And then we just open with the question of, what do we need to know about this week? And then I'll start to answer it. And I haven't done this, right? I don't practice this. So as I get the information, I want you guys to be feeling it. As I'm saying the words, notice how it feels to you. Does it feel true to me? Does it not feel true to me? That's you discerning. That's you listening with your own instincts as to whether it's true or not. And it's an amazing resource that you already have, right? Okay, so we're just improving on things that you guys are already doing naturally. Okay, so everybody just bring your intention back into the heart. Letting go. And then we'll do the 3 long breaths. Okay, notice that calmness. Notice that peace. That's you feeling grounded, and that's you feeling centered. Okay, so what's in store for us this week? Okay, so right away what's coming in is a need for us to stay in our own lane. Be careful of involving yourself in somebody else's business. Could even be your partner, your romantic partner. Stay in your lane, right? It's just clear as day. Stay in your lane. Be careful about getting mixed up in other people's ideas, stories, conversations, process. You know, if you're concerned, ask a question. If you're concerned, just be present. Just listen, right? Be careful not to jump in and assume that you know how they're feeling or assume that you know what's best for them, because you're likely to get shut down. It's likely to cause a breakdown in the relationship, a breakdown in communication. So you're just being asked to hold space a little differently. Be curious, you know, just be there for them. Just be a good listener. Be around, be available, but stay in your lane. So there may be some things this week, guys, where you may just find yourself judging or wanting to jump in, or don't do it like that, do it like this, or whatever it may be. And you're just being asked to slow down. Check yourself, check that emotion, that, you know, that uptick in emotion, like, wow, notice that, kind of back off from it and ask a question instead. You're just going to get further along, and you're going to create a better sense of peace with your partner or with your business associate or your child or whoever it is. So just unplug from the righteousness or from the like, how dare they kind of energy that wants to come in. Okay, so let's see what else is in store for us this week. There's an excitement coming in for yourself around creative flow, around things that you see for yourself, or lots of realizations about yourself, about how you're living your life, about how you don't want to live your life and how you do want to live your life. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of data looking back over the last couple of months in this pandemic. What works for you, what hasn't worked for you. Maybe it's shown some light on yourself, on behaviors that you don't like about yourself, or misunderstandings. I like to call them misunderstandings. That way we don't have to beat ourselves up. It's like, oh, I misunderstood that, to myself, right? Especially for people who are really hard on yourself. So you may be shown some misunderstandings about yourself, which then allows for healing to happen. It allows for peace to happen, and it allows for a new beginning. So there's lots of creative flow for us this week to be gentle with ourselves and to learn something new about ourselves, and then to make changes and create life differently. Also going to have to be careful not to pile a lot of work on top of things that aren't done right. Like just for the sake of like, oh, I just want to get this done. It reminds me of a kid who like, oh, I cleaned my room, but they just shoved all the toys under the bed, right? It's like that. So you're really being asked to go to the root cause, really deal with the root cause, and whether you're cleaning, and you go to the root, you make sure you clean everything as opposed to just, the surface. But they want you to get underneath, really asking us to go to for clarity and go to the bottom of everything, right? So definitely feel like there is some cleaning going on, spring cleaning, just getting rid of stuff, shedding things. So there is an opportunity for you to be able to also give away a lot. And when we give things away, it creates an opening for us to receive, right? So when you let go of a lot, you're opening the door to receive a lot as well. All right, let's see what else is in store for us this week. So towards the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, there's this growing excitement. Some of you may get an invitation. It may be like it could be a job invite. It could be an opportunity to connect with somebody, be invited to a Zoom party with them. It could be new friends. It could be a business situation where somebody has seen you and like, hey, we want to work with you. How do we work together? So I see some momentum growing around work, around your name, around the possibility of you doing things, that work for you remotely, or even for some of you getting back into work. And what you're being asked to do is use your creative ability to, if that's what you want to get back to work, is use your creative ability, open the doors, start talking to people, start communicating with people, start asking people, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything that you're needing some help with? For those of you that are really desperate and hungry, people want to help one another. So there is an opportunity if you open your mouth and say, hey, anybody have any work, or anybody know anybody who wants to do something, or even if in your own field. They're just showing me there's plenty of momentum and creativity and money that if you want to get something going, you can. And by the end of the week, they're just showing me this excitement around ideas and partnerships and relationships and new communities. And some of them feel like they're an invite to you. So some of you may be getting an invite from somebody else to, to partner with them or to join them or to do something together. So that's good news. All right, so let's see what else is in store for us this week. Also, during this time when it's so quiet, everybody's intuition is really heightened, providing you're not afraid, right? Because when you're afraid, you're really not listening to truth. You're listening, there's two channels. There's truth channel and fear channel. And when you're afraid, you're just being downloaded more fear, just more fear, right? So if you're stuck in that channel of fear and being fed fear, if you're listening to the TV, for instance, well, that's a fear channel. All they do is tell you every day about what the hell's wrong in this world, right? That's a fear channel. It's hard to get truthful information when you're being bombarded with the physical world about this is how things are. It may be true, it may not be true, but you'll never know if you're so dialed into that, right? And you can feel that. Can you feel that as I talk about that, guys? Can you feel the constriction in your chest especially? Can you feel that? So you want to use your breath to kind of get behind that and almost imagine like you're Superman and cracking it open, right? You can tap it, you can tap on your chest. Tapping is another way to release energy, constriction, mantras, I'm safe, I don't care what the answer is, I can get it, I'm all right. My angels will let me know, my guides will let me know if I need to know something. Just anything you have to say to yourself to kind of let go of being, stuck in that fear-induced coma, right? Because ick. And of course, we have the grounding breath, which is just throw it out, let that cleansing breath go, and then do those 3 long breaths that we do in the beginning. And by the time you get done with them, you'll be back down into that grounded space where you can ask any question. So what's coming in is that there's a huge opportunity for you to tap into your intuition during this time. Some of you are able to are becoming more sensitive. Now, everything around the physical world, it is heightened, right? So, but you want to unplug from that, because that can take you into too much empathy where you can be face down in somebody's grief, okay? So if you're feeling like you're just sobbing for days and you can't watch the news and it's just too much because you're so empathetic, you're feeling the grief, you just got to clear that and let it go and move to compassion. When you move to compassion, it awakens a whole nother energy in you, and it brings you back to that place of being neutral. So for those of you guys that can't even feel information because you're so caught in the grief and the suffering of what's going on, move to compassion for those people. That will move to compassion within yourself and will open you up so that you can actually receive information. So you can actually then connect again to what is the right action. If there is one, maybe there's not one, right? But that takes the pressure off. And more importantly, you're not laying there in a puddle of tears where you're no good to anybody. So it's wonderful to have empathy because you're feeling something. It allows us to make a connection with somebody, but it does no good for them or for you to stay in that connection because you're face down in the grief and you can't help yourself. So moving to compassion will help you get out of that. So just know that this week there's opportunities for you to release that suffering and to be able to open and move to compassion. And from that space of compassion, you can get new information. You can get new downloads. You can become more sensitive to what do I need to be doing next. And all you have to do is ask a question and it come pouring in. Okay, let's see if there's anything else to share with you. Oh, and I just feel like this weekend, there's like an easy weekend. It's just like easy. It's starting to get, things are starting to open up. Things are starting to breathe again. There's some movement. There's opportunity. There's optimism. But that optimism has to come from you, right? Don't anticipate the external optimism until you're internally optimist, right? So we have to use our own energy, our own internal optimism to influence the world. So it's we gotta be the life of the party. And basically we have to bring the energy of happiness and joy into our environments. And in doing that, it can become infectious, right? And in doing that, we can be a source of peace. We can be a source of excitement and joy and creativity. So there's this opening, guys, for all of us to be an influencer and to be able to influence the masses in your own energy. And whether it ever comes back to you and you know that you're an influence for somebody, it doesn't matter. The point is you're happier. The point is that you're healthier, right? Because when we're happy, right? Remember the immune meditation that I talked about last week? That happiness, that joy, that's contagious. And most importantly, it helps keeps us happy and open and allowing for new information to come in. So, all right, guys, I'm going to leave you on that note because it's happiness. And that's how I see the weekend coming up for us, is just being more free and happy and enjoying one another and appreciating what we do have and letting go of any constriction or anxiety and just being present to the emotions and the feelings as they come up. It's okay to process emotions. It's okay to move through them. Just don't get stuck in them, because there's a lot of joy. There's a lot of happiness here. So I hope you're tapping into that. I hope you're feeling that. And I hope you continue to expand your connection to your divine self and bring that through into your life and into your world, because we all would love to see it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for connecting with me with the weekly wake up, sending you lots of love and continued practice and blessings for yourself. And I look forward to hearing from you. Comment below if you like the weekly wake up and you think somebody would value from it. Please share it. Go to my YouTube channel and sign up so you get these right away in your inbox. And I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Have a great week, everybody.